Was attacked. I know it. I heard it. She's screaming. She was thrown to the ground.
Do me a favor. Calm down. Calm down. Other than your roommate, is there anybody else inside the house?
I don't know.
This is Michael Herman. The footage you are about to see was filmed just minutes after he claimed he heard his roommate get thrown out of a window.
So where's your key at?
Inside, downstairs, back door open.
Michael leads the police to the back of the house. At this moment, they have no way of knowing if there is someone violent still on the premises, or if Michael is lying.
Sir, come here. Relax. Take a seat.
Oh my God.
On the ground, 38-year-old Amy Harwick is covered in blood and barely breathing.
Do you know if there's anybody else inside the house?
I don't.
Anyone else inside? This is LAPD. Come out with your hands up. Hey, somebody pat him down, please. Stand up. He might be inside. He's got blood on him. Anyone else inside? This is LAPD. Come out with your hands up. Go back in. I got an open room. There's a balcony to the top.
As it becomes clear that no one else is on the property, police see Michael as the only suspect.
What was going on tonight?
I've been asleep all night.
Nobody in this house is doing drugs.
I smoke pot and stuff. Yeah.
Okay. What do you mean and stuff?
Well, I just smoke pot.
That's it?
Rooms every now and then. Yeah.
Michael appears nervous, jittery. His answers are suspicious, and his hands are covered in blood.
What do you think? I don't know, dude. Something's off.
As Amy clings to life, cops immediately bring Michael into the police station.
Can you remember? Do you still hear screaming?
I still heard screaming.
But there is only one problem. Michael is innocent, and the only person who can reveal the truth is Amy herself.
The paramedics render as much aid as they can to Amy Harwick. She has an incredibly low pulse, so they're rushing her to the hospital.
38-year-old Los Angeles resident Amy Harwick, who had just spent Valentine's Day with her closest friends, is now in critical condition, fighting for her life. Emergency responders work to keep her alive as police quickly begin gathering as much information as possible from the rest of the crime scene, trying to piece together what happened to Amy.
We do our walk through the house with the first responding officers.
Detectives notice that the French doors leading to the front yard are broken.
Just inside, scattered among the broken shards of glass from the door, there are several small red bloodstains. But as cops continue through the house, the entire rest of the first floor looks strangely untouched.
Somebody broke into this house. Was this a burglary or a robbery? Everything's just a big question mark.
The home is full of valuables and personal items that could have easily been taken. Electronics, art, and other expensive belongings are still where you'd expect. Nothing is missing.
Her wallet, 2 women's bags, and cash, $400 or $500. If this was a robbery or a burglary gone bad, why didn't they take all the cash?
As they continue their search, making their way upstairs to Amy's bedroom, something immediately catches their attention.
These black beads, they were just scattered everywhere.
Unlike the rest of the house, Amy's bedroom is in complete disarray. Her comforter is pushed back as if someone had gotten out of bed in a hurry, and Amy's personal belongings are thrown everywhere. The beads trail from the bedroom out through the open balcony doors. Between the ransacked room and the blood downstairs, it's clear Amy's fall was no accident. And though the full motive isn't obvious, cops now need to talk to the one person they can't ignore any longer, Amy's roommate.
Michael Herman, he's still very nervous, very jittery, jumpy, based on the way Michael was acting. He was the one and only person of interest that we had at that time, but we don't have proof of anything yet.
Michael explains to the cops that he met Amy through a mutual friend, and they've only known each other for a little under a year. A few months prior, Amy had rented out her downstairs bedroom to Michael as a way to supplement her income, a purely practical arrangement. But detectives still have to wonder, is he being truthful?
We had a photographer come and photograph Michael, and that's when we saw the scratches and the scrapes that he had on his body. Very suspicious. Instantly, I'm thinking those scratches came from Amy during the physical altercation.
When detectives ask him to walk them through the last 24 hours, he says he spent Valentine's Day alone, went to bed early around 8 p.m., and then woke up around 9 p.m. to the sound of glass breaking. Thinking it was just Amy upstairs dropping something, he went back to sleep. It wasn't until around 1 a.m. that he was jolted awake again, this time to Amy's screams, followed by what he describes as the sound of her being thrown out of a window. Michael then claims he ran outside, and then, in the chaos, scraped his hands while jumping over the wrought iron fence before using a neighbor's phone to call 911.
He was very open and very willing to help in any way that he could. At the conclusion of our interview, I believe that he's telling us the truth, but we can't officially clear Michael until we get more information.
Even if detectives want to believe Michael, all of the evidence so far seems to incriminate him. However, if he's innocent, the real suspect is still out there. Detectives decide to broaden their search to the surrounding area, hoping someone saw something on the night Amy was attacked. Fortunately, Amy's next-door neighbor has exactly what they're looking for.
We locate two relevant pieces of video. First is from the front doorbell camera.
February 15th, 1:08 a.m. The first camera captures their prime suspect, Michael Herman. The video, from 1 a.m. on the night of Amy's attack, shows Michael frantically running from neighbor to neighbor, knocking on doors, trying to get help. It's the first piece of solid evidence that appears to back up his version of events, and the timestamp matches up with his call to 911. The footage seems to support what Michael told detectives, but it still isn't enough to fully prove his innocence. The neighbor's second camera shows something disturbing from several hours earlier. February 14th, 8:53 p.m. The camera shows an unknown white male wearing a baseball hat and gloves. His face isn't covered, but the low video quality makes it nearly impossible to identify him. What is evident, though, is that the man in the footage is not Michael Herman. Then, as the unknown man moves toward Amy's property, they notice he's wearing large, work-style gloves. Even more strangely, he reaches up to cover the camera, clear evidence he's trying to cover his tracks.
By timestamp, the smashing of the window and opening the French doors awakes Michael Herman.
But even with this new footage, investigators have no idea who the man is or who he might be targeting next. The video quality is poor, the figure is blurry, and in a city as massive as Los Angeles, a grainy image of an unidentified white male isn't much to go on. Whoever this man is, though, he has now become suspect number one. Investigators return to the crime scene with a fresh perspective, hoping to find even a single overlooked detail that could help them identify the culprit. They methodically search Amy's house one more time, looking for any clues she might have left them, and, in the chaos, they find a crucial item, her cell phone. It's lying near the edge of the mattress, and seemingly undamaged. With Amy in the hospital and unable to tell her side of the story, hopefully, something in her phone can help. As investigators begin digging through the phone, they uncover a long list of contacts, including family, colleagues, and friends. Amy is a beloved family therapist with a PhD and is even a local public figure, appearing on talk shows, radio, and TV for her work. She has hundreds of acquaintances. Her phone is filled with tons of messages and dozens of people, all potential suspects in her attack. And for detectives, it's a huge challenge to figure out where to start. However, Amy had shared her phone's live location with a single contact, Robert Koshland, giving him the ability to track where she was. At this point, investigators don't know who Robert is, but they're about to learn he isn't just another name in her phone. Robert is Amy's best friend.
Police called me and said, "Can you come down to the station?" Started asking me questions. They told me right away that she had been attacked in her home. Then they'd started questioning me about Amy and who she knew and what might have happened.
Robert is in a state of shock, but willing to do whatever it takes to help Amy. He starts at the beginning, telling police everything he knows about his best friend. Amy grew up in Lansdale, Pennsylvania, with loving and supportive parents. In 1999, she graduated from North Penn High School, and 2 years later, she moved to the West Coast to attend college, hoping to someday make a positive impact on the world as a therapist.
Most of the people that you meet in LA want to be actors, and that was not the case with Amy. She was in school to become a family therapist at the time.
Robert meets Amy in 2012 when they're both guests at an LA pool party. They quickly bond over shared interests and their same offbeat sense of humor. What starts as a casual conversation turns into a friendship that, over the years, keeps getting stronger. Robert clearly knows Amy better than anyone, and police realize if there's anyone who can help find Amy's attacker, it's him. Cops then ask him about a picture sent to Amy's phone at 2:05 a.m. In it, Amy sits with a friend on a green couch, wearing the same outfit she had on when police found her in the backyard. And, most importantly, she's wearing the same black necklace whose beads cops found scattered all over the crime scene. This photo was taken just 2 hours before the attack. Robert helps police work through the timeline of the evening of February 14th. It's Valentine's Day, and that night, Amy had joined several friends for a girls' night out at a show in Los Angeles. According to the group chat and their messages back and forth, nothing seemed out of the ordinary. They watched a live performance, had fun, and by around midnight, everyone left, including Amy, who went home alone. As detectives continue asking Robert about his best friend, trying to gather every detail about Amy and the night of February 14th, the interview is suddenly interrupted. They stop mid-question as another officer steps into the room. In a quiet, heavy voice, he delivers the news to Robert, news no friend ever wants to hear.
And they said, well, I'm really sorry to inform you, but your friend has passed away.
On February 15th, 2020, at Cedars-Sinai Medical Hospital, Amy Harwick, though she fought hard for her life, was pronounced dead by medical personnel.
It was tough. I made a lot of phone calls telling people that their closest friend was dead.
I pretty much I didn't have any words at all. In my head, I was thinking, like, are you sure? And Amy's gone. And, I guess I feel alone. I feel lonely.
Amy was generous, kind, and actively fulfilling her dreams of helping people through her therapy work all across the world. It seems impossible that someone so full of life could suddenly be gone. As Amy's friends and family struggle to come to terms with the tragedy, the news of her murder hits the media. Her face is displayed on every news channel, and the city of Los Angeles goes on high alert.
A well-known therapist was killed at her Hollywood Hills home.
Police say she was murdered. They're also asking anyone who has any information to come forward.
With Amy's murder made public, her friends, family, and concerned citizens want her death answered for. But, thanks to their interview with Robert, police have a solid lead. He explained to them exactly what she has been going through for years. It's 2014, 6 years before Amy's murder. Robert receives a panicked call from her, who has just returned from a work trip. She tells him she believes someone broke into her house while she was gone.
And I was like, well, how do you know? And she's like, well, all of my photo albums are missing. I think some pictures are turned upside down, and my computer doesn't work.
Concerned for his friend, Robert immediately drives over to her apartment to make sure Amy is okay. When he arrives, it is clear this was not a normal robbery. All of the typical valuables, her TV, art pieces, and jewelry are still there. Only a few sentimental items are missing. This feels less like a stranger looking for quick cash and more like someone trying to scare her and send a strong message. What's even more troubling is that all the files on Amy's laptop are gone.
I opened it up, and after a few seconds, I determined it didn't even have an operating system, it had been completely wiped.
Amy calls the police, but they can't do anything to help. Whoever broke in was careful not to leave any incriminating evidence behind. Distressingly, the break-in is just the beginning of a series of disturbing incidents that will follow Amy for years to come. She's targeted by anonymous online attackers. Disparaging emails are sent to her workplace, and there's even a man who keeps lurking near her house at night. Robert does what he can to help, installing cameras on her property, encouraging her to buy self-defense items, and Amy even shares her location with him to feel safer. Robert and Amy were never able to gather enough proof, but they knew exactly who was behind the escalating attacks. And now, Robert tells police their theory, that Amy was being harassed and stalked by one man who's been obsessed with her for years.
They asked who I thought might have done this. Did she have any enemies? She literally said, if anything ever happens to me, it's Gareth. She said those exact words to me.
The year is 2010, 10 years before Amy's murder. Then in her late 20s, Amy is still working on her degree when she attends a party in Hollywood. There, she notices someone who can't seem to take his eyes off her. The man strikes up a conversation with her and introduces himself as Gareth Pursehouse. Amy is drawn to his seemingly down-to-earth energy. He works a day job as an IT specialist, is a photographer, and an aspiring stand-up comedian. The pair instantly hit it off and exchanged numbers.
He was very loud, fun, smiley. It was very clear that he was taken by her.
After months of dating, the two soon make their relationship official. From the outside, they look like a great couple with a bright future, two very talented and ambitious people building a life together in LA. However, over time, Amy's friends notice subtle changes. The once extremely social, outgoing woman starts spending less time with friends and appears withdrawn. She shows up less and less to outings and drifts away from the people who used to be part of her inner circle.
My relationship with Amy definitely changed when they started dating.
But things soon take a disturbing turn for the worse when one night in 2011, after almost a year of dating, an argument between Amy and her boyfriend spirals out of control. Gareth, the once seemingly loving partner, becomes violent. Amy calls 911 for help, leaves the house, and ends their relationship once and for all. Over the following months, Amy begins to build a case against her ex-boyfriend, Gareth Pershouse. She takes photos of her injuries, documents the harassing text and angry audio messages, blocking him everywhere. Armed with pages of evidence, she brings her case to the police. The court grants a 5-year restraining order, and Amy tries to move forward. With the protective order in place, Gareth is out of her life, on paper.
She really was worried at that point. She said, if anything happens to me, it's him.
With Robert pointing them to Gareth, police now have a name and a face to compare to the Ring camera suspect. And when they place the photo of Gareth next to a still of the unknown man from the neighbor's footage, it becomes evident that both Amy and Robert have been right all along.
He was in the same height range, a weight range, an age range. Until finally I say to myself, that's Gareth Pershouse.
Now that the police are certain they have the killer's identity, they review the remainder of the footage with Gareth in mind, piecing together exactly what happened the night Amy was murdered. It's February 14th, Valentine's Day, 8:53 p.m. Gareth Pershouse is captured on the neighbor's Ring camera, sneaking into Amy's yard by climbing into her property. Then, he uses his gloved hand to smash through the glass of the French doors, accidentally cutting himself in the process, and enters the house. This was what Michael, asleep downstairs, would later say he thought was just Amy dropping a glass. He leaves the downstairs untouched, creeps up to Amy's bedroom, and, terrifyingly, slips into her bed under the covers. Minutes turn into hours as Gareth waits patiently for the moment Amy, his ex-girlfriend from 9 years ago, will come home. 1:01 a.m., Amy, returning from her night out with friends, sends a text to Robert. He has no idea that this will be the last communication he will ever receive from her. She heads upstairs like she always does, unaware that anything is wrong until she reaches her bedroom. There, she's suddenly face to face with Gareth. He lunges at her, instinct kicks in, she throws her phone at him and turns to run.
He grabs her, rips the necklaces off of her neck. She bites him in the arm. She's fighting for her life.
At 6'4" and nearly 250 pounds, Gareth has a huge advantage. Amy stands no chance as he pushes her towards the edge of the balcony. Gareth makes a quick escape and is spotted again on the neighbor's Ring camera, just as Michael, Amy's roommate, runs for help and calls 911. With all the evidence police have collected, the blood at the crime scene, the text messages, the history of stalking and abuse, the restraining order, and the footage from the Ring camera, they have everything they need to make an arrest. February 15th, 2020, 4:30 p.m. Officers race to Gareth's apartment in Playa del Rey. They arrive in the nick of time, confronting him just as he is attempting to leave.
They stopped him out on the street and told him that he was going to be transported back to our office and that we would sit down and talk at that time.
As detectives process Gareth, they discover scratches all over his body. Clearly, he's been in a fight. When Gareth Pershouse refuses to answer any questions about the death of his ex-girlfriend, detectives are forced to stop the interview. He is booked into LA County Jail. Nearly 3 years later, Gareth Pershouse stands trial for first-degree murder. Although Amy can no longer speak for herself, her family and friends never miss a court date, ensuring her voice is the loudest in the room. During the trial, dozens of Amy's friends stepped forward to testify, giving the court a clear picture of who she was, a beautiful, inspiring woman, a loyal friend, and a positive light in the lives of everyone who knew her. Amy took countless measures to protect herself, yet it wasn't enough to deter him. Prosecutors also present another crucial piece of evidence, the blood from the crime scene, found near the shattered glass at the door, matching Gareth's DNA. September 28, 2023, The jury presents their verdict. Gareth Pursehouse is guilty of all charges, including first-degree murder. The judge hands down the maximum sentence, life without the possibility of parole. After the heartache, grief, and years of fighting, Amy, her family, and friends finally receive justice. Amy's story inspires others to live life unapologetically, just as she did, and to refuse to give their power to anyone else.